the lightweight for Virginia from just a few years ago. That is The Rock Harrison from his days in Charlottesville. Look at that ride from Rock Harrison. Sean Kinney alongside Rock. Look at that smile. Now, you got to share with our friends tuning in tonight your memory from senior night inside Mim Gym.
My memory is that I got absolutely humiliated by the returning national champion, Sheldon Thomas. He beat me so bad that my dignity ran off the mat before I did. It was embarrassing. But when I was looking at those pictures, I was ripped back then. I could wash clothes on my stomach. I was ripped.
You were cut. Yeah, that's the first young version of Rock I've seen, and I'm impressed, man. I'm impressed.
I can't wash anything on my stomach now. Let's be a try.
Join the club, my friend. Join the club. All right, here we go. Heavyweight. Let's talk Jonah Nisenbaum, the senior from Allentown, Pennsylvania. What a story Nisenbaum has been for Duke as he has taken over the leadership role. 21-3 this year. Did not wrestle last week. And, Duke, with their success, they have always had really good upper weights, whether it was Hartman or Casper. And Nisenbaum trying to keep the tradition rolling. As we go to our 2-box and we go to sudden victory. Bonacorsi had a 3-1 lead late. Trumbull gets the late takedown to force the overtime session. And it's Bonacorsi, Rock, driving in, trying to finish his initial shot.
And this Bonacorsi is not in a good position here. He's lacing the ankle, but as long as Nino holds on to that leg, he should be in a good position because the hips aren't covered. He's saying, you see the official pointing, he's saying he still got the leg. So Nino's going to try and work here to look for what's a stalemate to stop the action, but he's still cutting the corner. What an angle right here. But it looks like that looks like a takedown there. That looks like a takedown, but no, a pass through by Nino. Oh, potentially dangerous. Woo! Good grief. Overtime. This is huge. Newly minted #1 Nino Bonacorsi. Isaac Trumbull in overtime. 3-3. Reynolds. Pitt needs this match. Pitt needs this match.
This is a must get for the Panthers and their top-ranked wrestler, Bonacorsi. And we will go to 2 30-second tiebreakers to determine 197. Meanwhile, no action here yet. Nisenbaum swallowing up the front headlock position. Ethan Weatherspoon able to clear his head out. Nisenbaum just a great big heavyweight, kind of a throwback era type of heavyweight when you watch him go to work. As we bring back Bonacorsi and Trumbull, first 30-second tiebreaker. And it will be Trumbull who starts first underneath.
So it's vital that Nino tries to keep Bonacorsi, Nino tries to keep Trumbull down as long as he can because on the mat, Trumbull has the advantage. Nino did not pick bottom. So at this point, Nino has to show some grit to stay on top. He's going to try and drop down and hold the leg. Oh, this is just a tough ride here now. Trumble's trying to get the hips away. Nino got 15 seconds left. He's going to hold on to that arm. This is what makes a difference when you're in a blood round match at the NCAAs. How well can you ride here? And Nino's doing a good job, but it looks like Trumbull's going to get up, but not yet. Is that yet? Yes, that's the one. But almost 28 seconds left of riding time. So Nino has to make a decision. Is he going to go down against Isaac Trumbull, who's extremely tough on top, or is he going to go neutral? He has to go down because he's got a good amount of riding time. He has to wrestle through this whole period. And Isaac Trumbull has to be as aggressive and tough as he is on top. And oftentimes it goes to a claw ride. So 21 seconds left in that overtime period.
Nisenbaum with a couple of late takedowns. He goes up 4-1 as we get ready to start the second period. Duke trying to pick up their first win tonight. And it's been the guy that has been most consistent, Jonah Nisenbaum. 45-0, Virginia out in front. Ethan Weatherspoon, the senior from Jackson, Michigan, 4th year on the grounds. Hasn't wrestled a lot the last couple of years. All right, let's go back to the tiebreaker. Action has resumed. And
Nino got the one. So he's got the riding time.
And
he's going to go behind. The go behind Nino gets the takedown. Reversal. What a gut check. What a gut check by the #1 wrestler at 197. Oh, my goodness. Gut check against Isaac Trumbull, who's so tough on top. He was able to get out after a very good ride, and now he's up 6-4. He just doesn't make any bad decisions here. He had an illegal hold against him, got some recovery time. He could have easily said, hey, I'm just going to sit this out. But Nino Bonacorsi, he's so tough. Had a mentally tough win against Younger Bastida last week against Iowa State, and comes back in a very tough Reynolds Coliseum to win over one of his nemesis, Isaac Trumbull.
Bonacorsi new to the #1 ranking in the country, and he looked like the top-ranked wrestler. You saw his ability to ride in that first tiebreaker, and he was working against maybe some of the strongest hips in the country when you look at Trumbull. 28 seconds of ride, and then he's able to get the escape, and then he adds the takedown, and a big win for Bonacorsi and Pitt as they will now look to their young freshman sensation at heavyweight to try to keep the Panther train rolling. Nisenbaum, a 3-1 advantage here in the second period, and that was pretty from Jonah Nisenbaum.
He went underhook, knee tap. Knee tap means he went underhook under the armpit and reached to the opposite knee of Weatherspoon. Really good takedown there.
I know we both enjoyed our time with Jonah Nisenbaum this week, and we talked about what it's like to wrestle in this Duke room as you see him take Weatherspoon over to his back for a brief moment. Weatherspoon able to get back to his base for the time being. Short time wrestling, inside 10 seconds to go, but a thunderous mat return there by Nisenbaum nearly put Weatherspoon on ice as we go to the third. But real quickly, just finishing up our thought with Nisenbaum, he says you don't have to be a top recruit at Duke. The attention goes to the guys that want it. He described Duke as a land of opportunity. The guys that do well are the guys that put in the time, that want to do well. The resources are in place. It's all about how you apply them.
So we see a pause in the action because when Weatherspoon tried to do like a roll through and he got stuck, the question is, was it for 2 consecutive seconds that Nisenbaum held Weatherspoon in near fall criteria? What is near fall criteria? That is when your back is at least 45 degrees or less and 4 inches off the mat. So at that point, they're going to review it and say, was there a near fall there? Sean, when we're looking at it, we thought it was near fall. But
yeah, I thought for sure, too. So they are taking another look at it. Nisenbaum right now, as it stands, with a 5-1 lead. This is a guy that, it's an amazing story. He just hasn't been wrestling that long. He started the sport of wrestling his sophomore year in high school. He was playing ice hockey at the time. Decided to give wrestling a shot. And he says of all the sports he's participated in, this is the one that he's found the quickest success in. And Rock, your 10 years as a Division I official, is that too for Nisenbaum?
No, it wasn't that 45-degree angle. Nope, not at all. So they're looking at it. 2 minutes left in the third period. Virginia comfortably ahead, however, and the ruling on the mat is confirmed. But just to show you that Duke still wants to compete, and that's one of the things that Coach Lanham said. He wants his wrestlers to compete, and Nisenbaum is still trying to score. So he's keeping the pressure forward. and good motion. But once you stop the motion on a heavyweight and the heavyweight starts to put their weight on it, it just becomes increasingly difficult, especially with Weatherspoon being an undersized heavyweight.
5-1 lead here for Nisenbaum, third period. Rock, you saw this type of year coming from Nisenbaum. We chatted during the summer, and you said, you know, you look at this Duke roster, this is the name to keep an eye on. What did you notice that this type of explosion could happen from this wrestler this year?
I think when you start to get in a leadership role, some people falter in leadership roles, and some people get more out of themselves because they know other people expect things. And I believe that Nisenbaum was one of those guys to say, hey, I am the leader. There's not a fine silver on the team. I am the one that's going to have people to watch what I do and see how I improve.
And he relishes being a leader on this team. In fact, they're trying to get more leaders, and he just talks about they don't have the depth of most programs, so everyone is that much more important. And he's a guy that wants to go out there and lead by example, and his actions, his results, more importantly, have certainly cemented his status as the face of this Duke program this year.
And one of the things that I noticed about Nisenbaum is that he said wrestling, unlike hockey for him, he could easily see improvements. He could see himself make a mistake and then can correct it and get better without waiting for other things to happen.
The 10th and final weight tonight will go to Duke, and it's Jonah Nisenbaum as he continues his strong ACC run. He is perfect in the conference. He's now 3-0 in ACC matches, a sudden victory win against Brandon Whitman, a 5-4 win against Tyree Houghton, and now tonight 6-1 over Ethan Weatherspoon of Virginia. Keep an eye on Jonah Nisenbaum in a couple of weeks in Raleigh at the ACC Wrestling Championships. Coach Erickson, who he credited with a lot of his development, first one to shake his hand. Nisenbaum wins at heavyweight. The talented senior from Allentown. He can beat you in a number of ways. The grinder, new to the sport. Looks like he's been wrestling for years. The victories just keep on coming for Nisenbaum. Duke with their only win of the night. Memorial Gymnasium in Charlottesville, and they go away happy as Virginia defeats Duke, a final score of 45-3 here tonight. Sean Kinney alongside Rock Harrison. Virginia, Rock, the favorite coming in, and this is a team that's looking to gain some late season momentum, and they certainly did it tonight. 14 seniors honored before tonight's action, and they go away with a smile.
With a smile, because they wrestled extremely well on top, and they looked for bonus points, including pins. And it started off right here with an inside trip by Jake Keating, and he readjusted to get the fall on senior night. Inside trip, he hit one earlier, and then he went right back to it. As long as any part of the body stays in, he gets the fall and gets mem. And then at this point, gets double grapes in by Justin McCoy to get a high crotch to a half Nelson. And then we have the Hulk, Michael Batista, with what's called a butcher, readjusts, and on senior night, he gets a fall.
8 of the 9 wins for Virginia coming via the bonus points. Patrick McCormick with the decision at 125, and then the Cavaliers just dominating. Yarborough at 133. Cedeno for clearance stays hot. Keating has won 2 straight. McCoy, Marcelli wins by medical forfeit. And Trossian, Batista. And then the one bright spot tonight for Duke was their heavyweight, Jonah Nisenbaum. A lot of drama still.